What up, though? And welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out Podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Curt Steele. Today, it's the Boss Up Ball Out Podcast Mock Draft 3.0, the finale, because we know the mock draft season is officially over. We are on our way to 50,000 subscribers, so please subscribe to the channel. We are currently at 2,803, trying to get to that 3K. Man, we got channel memberships now, man. It's another way to help us grow this show, man. And shout out to my man T-Bone Links, been our subscriber to the channel, man. Now it's time to bring in our co-host for today's show. First up, man, y'all know who it is. It's the ladies' pet, the men's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. The highest player from the Himalayas, your auntie's favorite content creator for the Detroit Lions, LL Cool Torrance. What's going on, my guy?
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning.
Yeah, man. And if anybody needs a day, it's my man, Coach Jones, because it's hump day, baby. And with all those jobs, man, I know you need to break today. What's going on, my guy?
Man, get your popcorn ready, because something about to happen tomorrow night, man. It's the Wolverine, Coach Mike Jones.
Yeah, man. If you're new to the channel, you don't know how our show works. We look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up with that big blade dance. If we disagree, we say it is balled on. We give our takes while we agree or disagree. No hot takes here. No Stephen A. Smiths. Man, and Lord knows no Shannon Sharps over here on this channel, man. It's just our true natural thoughts and opinions about what's going on with our favorite team, the Detroit Lions, because we don't need them problems on this show. We don't need them problems, man. But oh man, I hope everything works out for my fellow over there, Uncle Shay Shay. All right, it's our final mock draft before tomorrow's NFL draft. Mocks. This is the final one. Mock draft season is officially over, and thank God for that. But we have some fun. Because we haven't done our this is only our first year, really calendar year, but like even going back to Detroit Lions of the Pro, I don't think we never really sat down and did a mock draft ourselves, because it's not what we really did. We kind of like LL would do one and we would kind of go over his, but that wasn't really our thing right there. But so we looked at it and said, hey man, let's go ahead and do a mock draft, have some fun and do some things, man. So I like that. So we had some fun doing that. So let's get into it. Now the order this time is I went first, then it was Coach Jones, and then it was LL. So all right. Let's look at the trades before we get into it. We didn't have a lot of trades. Pro Football Network they gave us a lot of trades last time. They didn't really give us a lot this time. And we're gonna have some repeat picks. So surprise still.
They didn't give us no good trades.
Yeah, no good trades. So we had the one trade, man. We had the Lions traded pick 196 and a 2026 7th round pick to the LA Chargers for pick 199 and pick 256. So that's just the trade. That's the trade we had. That's the trade we ran with. The other trades that we kind of had, they were absolutely ass. So
yeah, they was trying to get it more for next year. Was what it was for the 2026 draft, and we want ours right now.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah. We were telling them to ante up, and they weren't trying to do that. So we was like, nah, we ain't finna do that. All right, so I'm on the clock first. So with the with the first pick in the first round at pick 28, the Detroit Lions select, and it shouldn't be a surprise because I said we're gonna have some repeat offenders. We got my man Kenneth Grant out of the University of Michigan, man. That's my guy, of course. I think with Kenneth Grant coming out of Michigan, with Aleem McNeil being out until December, probably the Lions need a starter at defensive tackle, and with DJ Reader only being in Detroit through the end of this season, Grant makes sense for the Lions. Provides a long-term answer at defensive tackle for the Lions. He's powerful, athletic, with size and speed, and the Detroit Lions will keep that Wolverine in the state of Michigan. So, just a quick thoughts on Kenneth Grant to the Detroit Lions. I'm gonna go to you first, Coach Jones. What you got?
I'm happy. I'm very happy with Kenneth Grant. Just because of his size and his speed, his athleticism, he's able to do multiple things. He can play in a 3-4 or 4-3. That dude's gonna be a player. I think he's gonna be more of an effective player than Mason Graham will be actually in the
Mm,
NFL. I think Mason Graham will be more of um, that that solid interior dude who always will plug the hole, but Kenneth Grant gonna make some plays and you gonna notice it. So yeah, Kenneth Grant, man, I'm happy with it. I get that the boss up.
All right, what you got, LL?
we done talked about it before. Kenneth Grant is everything that we need in a defensive tackle. We got injuries, we got player or picks that haven't necessarily worked out in the best way. So that's what we need. He gives us what we are looking for on that interior defensive line.
Okay. All right, next up we got pick. Let me make sure I get this up. Pick 60 in the second round. And Coach Jones, who did you select with that pick? And we're gonna put it up on the screen.
Pick JT to something lower. So look, man, the guy from Ohio State, he's been on the scene. He played in big games. He's a versatile dude. He has the size that you need to play the edge. He can actually, I think he can play a little bit off the ball too. He can drop back in coverage kind of, so he's kind of like, I'm not going like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say like he's like that, but he's in the mold of a type of Aiden Hutchinson like versatility in the defender on the edge. So not saying he is Aiden Hutchinson, I'm saying he has his versatility to play on the edge. So yeah, I like that pick, man.
Yeah, I had to give you a big boss up on JTT, man. I like him better. And surprisingly, when we did our mock draft, Jack Sawyer had dropped his bottom, man. He was way down in the edge rankings. I think we were looking at in the fourth round, he was still there, or at least the third round, Jack Sawyer was still there. So looking at JTT, man, I think he's a more versatile guy. I think he fits the Lions scheme better than Jack Sawyer. So I would be happy with JTT coming to Detroit. All right. Excuse me. All right, what you got, LL?
And you already know we've been talking about JTT this whole off season, especially me. But he give you size, he give you versatility, he give you experience because he's been playing a couple of years at Ohio State and all that. So sign him up. Come on over here. We need some depth and all of that stuff, so he could potentially be a long term starter or just a rotational defensive end that can give us good number, good work over the next couple years. Good. What's the word I'm looking for here? Good. I say participation, but that ain't it. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Some good depth at
Yeah. I
defensive
don't know if y'all just saw that,
rotation.
but the cat just jumped from here to the over there. So I don't know if y'all just
Yeah,
saw that.
we saw Geronimo getting busy back there doing his thing. I don't know what was going on with him. All right, so the next pick we got in the Boss Up Ball Out podcast mock draft 3.0 is pick 102, and in the third round, and LL, you selected.
Yes, that's my pick. Dylan Fairchild, another guy who we talked about on this here channel, has some versatility, can play those interior offensive line spots, center and guard. Come from that great state of Georgia, from that University of Georgia. And he, national champion, all of that good stuff. He has some experience on a winning team. Is an anchor on that offensive line, and he wasn't necessarily. He has shown great developmental skills. He came in, and they worked him up into a starter, and they worked him up into an All SEC performer. So, we took Dylan Fairchild here at number 102. I think he can come in and either challenge Graham Glasgow for whatever spot he gonna be at, or start. And then eventually, here it go again. But and then eventually, here come the other cat. But then eventually, once Frank the Tank Ragnow, if his body allows him to retire peacefully, then Dylan Fairchild can possibly step in and man that one as well. So what do you guys think about Dylan Fairchild out of Georgia at 102.
All right, Coach, what you got?
Actually, I think Dylan Fairchild is the. I think he's the. I don't want to say the best pick, but he's the best value pick at 102. I think you get a guy who started on Georgia for a few years. Yeah, man, he's good. He would definitely command, man. I think he would take that right guard spot from Glasgow, make him primarily a backup, man. So I like Dylan Fairchild, man, because he nasty with it.
Yeah, I like Dylan Fairchild as well. Aggressive player, like I said, played at University of Georgia, big game experience. I don't think the stage will be too big for him in Detroit. Uh, I like the pick. I definitely agree with he would definitely challenge. And your comments on Frank Ragnow, man. Frank Ragnow isn't even 30 yet, man. Please stop having him
I
retire.
only say that because of, I don't like saying that term, but he falling, he got some stuff going on. I don't,
Yeah,
so he
we know
may,
about the bionic toe, man. We know that
and his arm and everything. He broke his throat the other year. He got some stuff going on. You know,
Yeah, you gotta be a tough son of a gun to get your throat fractured and come back, you know what I'm saying, and play the next week. So, hey, man,
Yeah,
like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. Hey, I know that the Boss of Ball Out podcast is sponsored by Dubby Energy Drink. Favorite flavor on the show has got to be Irish Strike because it's blue tropical flavor. It's the ultimate fuel for conquering all that is ahead of you. Some benefits, man. You get that laser focus from that green coffee fruit extract, which is the star of the show, man. Helps you concentrate, man. You get all those taurines, man. The L-taurine, tenserine, glutamine, and citrulline. The best amino acids for brain functions. Excuse me. You get those brain boosting vitamins, man. B6, B3, B12, and vitamin C. And with only 150 milligrams of caffeine, get you through the day. No sugars, no maltodextrins or artificial colors or dyes or any of that fillers and BS. Costs about $1 per drink. It beats your coffee and canned drink price any day of the week, man. No crashes, jitters, or anxiety. You can find a link to buy Dubby in the description of this video and put that code BOSSUP at checkout to get 10% off your order. Take on your day with Dubby. All right, let's keep it moving. Moving on with this mock draft, man. The next pick is that's not it. There it is. All right, pick number 4. Round 4, pick 130. Safety Jalen Reed out of Penn State, man. 6'2", 211. The thing with Jalen Reed, y'all know he's a Detroit native, right? If you don't know, you should know now. Played at Martin Luther King High School. Got the size you want in an NFL player. Put some top numbers as the starters in 2 years at Penn State. Not a perfect when you look at his tape, man. He knows how to make plays, but he could be inconsistent. But he can make sure he can come in and fill some gaps in that Detroit Lions secondary. The one thing that makes him kind of a good fit is that he has that downhill versatility to play in the Detroit Lions defense, and he can definitely is a good open field tackler. We all know that you gotta be able to hunt that rock and playing in the secondary in Detroit. You got to be able to support and run defense. Definitely can play that third safety inside the box. Here's the thing that he brings that the Lions really don't have. That he has the ability to play zone coverage, and our zone coverage has been terrible all around last couple of years, man. And he brings that flexibility, and he plays with natural instincts and route awareness, especially in zone coverage for safety. So that's why I kind of like him. He brings that flexibility to the secondary that we don't have right now. So what do you guys think about bringing Jalen Reed back home to the D from Penn State? I'm gonna go to you first, LL, because you like the big homies right there. You know what I'm saying? LL's our resident trick. What you got, man?
No, I am not. Trick. I'll apologize for him. No, I'm not. But
Get
Jalen
me
Reed,
killed.
or worse. But welcome to Detroit. Well, ain't no welcome to because he's from here. But I think we looked at him once before. But versatile defender, a bit of a thumper. Can, like you said, can play in the box. Can support the run, all of that good stuff, and he shows good zone defense numbers. You said we don't play zone that well. I think we got some players that do. We just don't overall, maybe as a team. Like Kirby's pretty good zone defender, I would say. And maybe Brian Branch, but just everybody else pretty much suck. But this guy could come in and add some depth, like you said, play that third safety, and just put some people into some places. We had Brian Branch doing a whole lot of stuff, which is a good thing. But maybe we could just get him in one spot and let somebody else, help out and do some other things. So, welcome to the Lions, Mr. Reed.
Yeah, I'm just joking, trick, man. I already know you really don't know what to do, man. But I was just saying that he's LL's our muscle on this show, man. He gets things done for us. So that's all I'm saying, trick, man. No derogatory comment towards you because I really don't know you to make a derogatory comment with anybody. But anyway, what you got, Coach Jones?
Oh Lord, we so sorry, Trick. But you know what?
I ain't finna beg nobody. Fuck that.
No, I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing, man. But you know what? I think Jalen Reed is a guy who will find himself on the field more and more and more. And about mid-season, I think he'll take over. I think he has to earn the Lions' trust, but I think he might even by camp be the third safety. But I think some point in time during the middle of the season, he'll be that third safety. So I give that a big boss up right there.
Yeah. Now I would say this. Now we're getting into the part of the draft where I think that, to be honest with you, anything past Reed, because we're jumping all the way to pick 199. I think these last four guys it's gonna be kind of hard for these jokers to make the roster, but we had to do the draft, so we looked at this thing like, yeah, we got to pick somebody. So we was doing this back part of the draft took the longest because we were like, who the hell is this guy? Who the hell's that guy? But Coach Jones, you were up and you picked this guy in what is it? Round I think this is round number 6 and pick 199. So you got this big fella right here. There you go.
Yes. So that's wide receiver Arian Smith out of Georgia. He is 6 feet, 179 pounds. He's a little thin frame, but he can fly. He can create big plays. He gets that separation when he accelerates. I read a little bit on his profile, so but yeah, man. Any guy who can make plays in a big conference and a major team like Georgia will always have a chance to be on the field in the NFL at some form or fashion. So even if he starts off on special teams, I think he could eventually find his way on the roster when somebody goes down. And yeah, man, we need another burner. So that's what he is.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at Arian Smith, watched him at Georgia, watched him down here. I live in SEC country, and the dude can fly. Looking at him, looking at some of the plays he made, he's definitely a big play threat. And you look at what John Morton wants to do in his new offense, where he wants to have more explosive plays down the field. Can't get more explosive than this guy, man. He would definitely add a real burner to a guys like Jameson Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs, man. When you got a guy who could absolutely fly, he's a former college sprinter. So yeah, I like the pickup. I'm not sure he will actually make the 53-man roster or be a developmental player, but he has that with the back of the roster type of chance to make in the roster. So what you got, LL, on Arian Smith out of Georgia?
And before you say something, because I already know where he gonna go, because I just know him. Is it because for deep, accurate passes? First of all, see, I already knew it, man. Jared Goff is efficient, man. Stop, get up, man. Leave that man alone.
Actually, if you look at his stats, he's one of the best 10 yards down the field passer in the league. You just don't like him. So go ahead, LL.
Well, like
the numbers
said,
don't. Men
no.
lie, women lie. Numbers don't. He is what it
is. Numbers mislead, but like you said, it's a key point in that 10 yards plus. That's Amon-Ra country right there. Amon-Ra run them 10 to 15. That's Sam Laporta. That ain't nothing. We talking about the deep ball, but you already know, and that's exactly where I was gonna go. This gentleman will come here and hate his time here because if he needs somebody else to walk it to him, to make an impact, he ain't gonna get much of that chance. And just because we don't do that a lot, and number two, we already got somebody for that. But we keep mentioning it that Tommy Morton, or is it Tom Morton or John
Morton?
Mr. Morton says that we want to be more explosive. So if that's the game plan, this would definitely help, but I'm not so sure we got the gun for that.
Just a hater.
Yeah, man.
Just a hater, man.
You need to get you a bottle of haterade and put it on the screen.
Man, just
like this.
Hater. Because I don't know what you look at last year. I saw J-Mo catching a lot of field passes down the field last year. A lot of long passes. Yes, a lot of them.
What's a lot?
Chicago.
That's one.
Dallas.
That's two.
The Rams. So you look at those plays down the field. He made a lot of them. Chicago. So we made a lot long. He had 1,000 yards on 58 receptions. You don't do that catching 5-yard slants.
You're right. You're right. Well, you can, because that's how they count receiving yards. You take it if you catch it across the line of scrimmage and go. All of that is receiving yards and passing yards for the quarterback.
Not all of them though, man.
He likes them. He likes them crossers, but it ain't.
J-Mo caught plenty of passes down the field last season.
Man. I'll let y'all play. I hear y'all talking. We all saw it.
Anyways, all right. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video. All right, next pick, man. Is let me see. It is on my man LL, and it is pick number 228. What you got here, man? And this guy, you were looking for him, and he found him. What you got, man?
I thought he had
this player.
Because I was looking for a trade up. Let me tell y'all something. Let y'all in on a little bit of inside baseball. I thought for sure when I was explaining the trades on stuff, I thought for sure Coach Mike was gonna do it because he be rubbing his hands at trades and everything. Coach Mike ain't do nothing. I thought he was gonna trade up a couple of times. He ain't do nothing. But
they wasn't there. The trade.
You could have paused and said trade. You could have proposed a trade, but I'm just picking, of course. But Nazir Stackhouse, we had put it on pause. I was looking to trade up, and I was looking at him, and we forgot that that's what we was looking at. But long story short, he fell to us anyway. Another one of them Georgia defenders, as my family say, at least Georgia. But experience on a winning team, all that good stuff. SEC, just all of those. Everything that we already said. I believe in one of the other mock drafts, I took Brinson out of Georgia. So this is when Nazir Stackhouse was more of the nose tackle. So he'd be kind of in that mode, giving us some depth with DJ Reed and Kenneth Grant and Broderick Martin, and then this guy. So Broderick Martin don't necessarily get his ducks to line up in a row. Mr. Stackhouse might step on in there. So. Just add some depth to that defensive line. Because we do have injuries along that as well. So welcome to the Lions, Mr. Stackhouse.
Yeah. I like Stackhouse because he gives the chance for the Lions to get rid of Broderick Martin.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm just going to be honest with you. Yeah. I haven't been impressed with Broderick Martin since he's been in Detroit. So he gives us an opportunity to let Broderick Martin walk. Or the depth on the interior defensive line. You just look at him and hope he can keep his pad level low and not get knocked over by running backs and tight ends like Broderick Martin does. So yeah, I like this pick, man. Just for that part where we overdrafted Broderick Martin. We should never have took him that early in the draft. So another developmental player that can come in and we can send Broderick Martin to the UFL where he's supposed to be. All right, what you got?
Yeah, that's 3. Okay.
It's
That's
it's
crazy.
I'm it's all shots fired at that cat
That was
because
You know why?
huh.
You know why he's saying that? Because I ain't gonna let off on Jared Goff fans. So you can stay on
no,
Broderick Martin.
they ain't got nothing to do with that, man. Martin
Yeah,
Martin just he just is not playing. He ain't producing.
yeah.
You know
He ain't
what?
producing. Broderick Martin ain't producing.
I do think it will be between him and Roger Burns for that last defensive tackle spot on the active roster. So we'll see what happens, man. But I do think that he will eventually, through wear and tear, or Dan Campbell, he gives guys games off in the season, man, kind of managing their amount of reps. So I think he'll find his way onto the field at some point in the season. Maybe if it's only a game or two, or maybe if somebody goes down and he comes in, but. Yeah, man, he's a solid pick, man. He played a lot of big time ball.
Ain't got nothing to do with Jared Goff, man.
Yeah, dude.
Nah, because what? Because of the fact that
Yes, I do.
I just look at Broderick Martin, looking at his body of work, man. I expected more from him
I don't really mean that.
from,
I'm just
from
picking.
Western
I
Kentucky,
don't really
but
mean that.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I haven't been really impressed with that young fella, man. I mean, for what the high hopes we have for him, and I don't wish him to do bad. I want him to do good, but he ain't doing good. So at this point, hey, if you can't get it together in this camp, you got a role player. All right, so now it's time for our next pick, man.
Fair
And this
enough.
was on me. Uh, there we go. Let me add it. There we go. All right, round 7, pick 244. Zamaya Vaughn out of Utah. I misspelled his name, man. It's kind of like Isaiah, but it's Zamaya. It's supposed to be another A in there. 6'3", 190. Former walk-on at the University of Utah, man. Plays physical despite his small frame, because at 6'3", man, you less than 200 pounds. You little.
Mhm.
With that cat, man, he has the ability to play special teams, man. And for me, I already said that, looking at these guys, you're getting down, especially on this roster, it's going to be hard for those guys to make the actual 53-man roster. So I think he's the type of guy at 6'3", we can play on special teams, and he's a guy who could actually probably develop on the practice squad. He'll be a developmental player on the Lions,
Yeah.
man. You look at our defensive back depth. The thing that he brings to the Lions that we don't have at our defensive backs is height. You know what I'm saying? 6'3", man. All of our guys are 6'1" and under. So
Yeah.
you look at that, man. Because I think even Sub-Zero is only about 6'1". So, well, not Sub-Zero now. It's TA. He's only about 6 feet 6'1". So he's about our
Still
Yeah,
tallest.
I
6.
think he's six,
Yeah,
6 feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we don't have a lot of height, and I think he's our tallest corner. I think on the roster. So yeah, he brings that. But yeah, what do you think about Zamaya Vaughn out of Utah? I'll go to you first, Coach. What you got on the young fella?
The first thing that sticks out to me is how long his arms are. I don't know if you could bring that picture back up,
Hmm.
but man, like his arm was touching his knees. So that you know what I'm saying. So yeah, man, I like that, man. I like that size in the defensive backfield, man. That's get that arm up in there. You could be a little bit further away or get beat, man, but you can stick that long ass arm out there, man, and you can get into the play, man, affect the play. So maybe he could, get on the roster at some point in time, or maybe it's next season, 2026. But yeah, he's a good developmental piece, man. Good size.
Yeah, man. He's a hyper John Starks, but the arms of Patrick Ewing. But what you got? what you got? FL?
Everything that you guys just said, he provides depth and some length at the position. Ain't no telling that where he'll land in all of this, because we got a whole lot of players. But if he can stand up a little bit, we got some players he could definitely supplant, or pass up. So could go good for him if we were to take him in this spot and he would make the team and all of that good stuff. But he could have a lot of potential. Who was the guy? I can't think of his name. It wasn't Mike Hughes. We had drafted a guy from Arizona State. We ended up letting him go. But I thought he played pretty
Oh,
well here. I can't think of his name.
special teamer. He was a special teamer. Mike.
What was his name? Hughes? Was his name Hughes too or something? I don't remember. But
Nah, I remember you talking about he was the cornerback. Because he played for
yeah,
Herman Edwards out there at Arizona State. I remember you talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
You know,
yeah,
just
he
that kind of
does.
player come and get some reps in if it goes that way. But
Yeah.
welcome to the Lions, young man.
Yeah. All right. So with the last pick, we have another guy returning to the mock draft. We didn't draft him. We drafted him in the 1.0, but he didn't get drafted in 2.0. But Coach Mike said, go ahead and grab him up for the final pick of mock draft number 3.0, the finale. And it is, let me hit this thing. There you go. What you got, Coach Jones?
Yeah, Ahmed Assassinin. However you say his name, I'm sorry, young man. I mean to butcher your name like that. But he made plays. And he's another guy who could make the roster. He could. I think he'll start off on the practice squad, or maybe he'll be a special teamer or something like that, man. But yeah, man, he has a good build at 6'2", 267. He's kind of in that like defensive end, kind of maybe hopefully you could drop back and play off the ball a little bit every now and again. I don't know if he can or not, but yeah, man, he has a high motor, and he's a guy who's always on the go. Like you always see him, it's go time. It's go time. That's one thing that you notice when he's on the field. So yeah, man, I think that's a great value pick, man. I think that's our second value pick of this draft, man, was Mr. Assassinin. I don't know how to say his name, but that's what it is.
All right.
Yeah, LL, because you wanted to pick him
Yeah, he
in
did.
in a draft. So what you got on the young fella out of Boise State?
Yeah, if I had to saw him sooner, I would have took him. But and I'm starting to hear his name on TV, so maybe he won't make it this long. But he's got everything you need. His tape is good, his numbers is good, his accolades is good. I think he's just a pretty good football player. I would like to see him on this team. I don't know if you put him on the practice squad, somebody gonna take him. But that kind of stuff. But we talked about him a few times. So welcome to the Lions. Ahmed Hassanin, if we saying that right.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna try. I like the young fella. He got a high motor. I like what you guys have said. I'll echo that. That's how he. Now we always talk about the Dan Campbell type of guy. He's a Calvin Shepard type of guy because he's always moving, high motor. What is one thing Calvin Shepard he will not tolerate on this team? Lack of effort, and you will not get that with him on this roster. So I like this young player out of Boise State, man. So if we pick him up, welcome to the team, man. And that was the last pick of our mock draft, man. I think overall, I think we got 4 solid guys. The top 4 guys could actually make this roster. You're looking at Kenneth Grant, JTT, Reed out of Penn State, and Fairchild out of Georgia. Those guys will have a legitimate shot of actually making the roster. The other guys, it would take some supplanting some other guys that we have, because we've re-signed a lot of guys to this roster from last year, and they would have to supplant some of those guys who are already coaches, coaches like and things of that nature. So yeah, I like the mock draft. What do you got, Coach Jones, about how we did on the draft this time?
You know what? I think that I would have hoped that somebody would have gave us better offers early on, because we all know something gonna happen tomorrow that we can't predict. Whether it is trade back and grab up a whole lot of picks because somebody want to jump up in the round and grab a quarterback. Because I heard on I think it was NFL Network, they were talking about another guy possibly sneaking in the back end of the first round quarterback. So I think it was like Rowe, I think his name was.
Milrow?
No, not Jay Milrow, but I think I can't remember what his name is, man. But Yeah, man. So, or if we trade up, we could trade up definitely, man, because I think we do got some picks, man, we can play with. So I just want to get my popcorn ready. I'm glad that this is over, that we done with the mock drafting. And we ready, man. I'm just ready
Hmm.
to see what's going on, man. Like I want to know what's gonna happen with my Detroit Lions, man. So I'm locked in.
Yeah, definitely. What you got, LL?
It's fun to do the mock drafts and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm ready for the draft. But when you're doing these mock drafts, depending on how you do it, you can get familiar with some of these players, and when you start seeing their name called, you already kind of know what kind of players some of these teams is getting. So that is a benefit as well. But yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen tomorrow night. If I got to give my hot take and early prediction,
Mhm.
and this is just from hearing people talk about stuff and scenarios and situations. If the Lions do trade up, I think they might target which Stewart is one of the
Shamar
Stewart
Stewart?
Josiah Stewart. Which one is the bigger
No,
one?
it's
That's
Shamar
Josiah
Stewart.
Stewart.
Tomorrow,
Shamar,
the Texas
Shamar
A&M.
Stewart out of Texas A&M.
That one. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hit, and I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but I was talking to somebody at work about it. But Mina Kams was talking about him. He got like a 999 RAV score, but like his number, like when you
yeah.
watch it, like he kind of, who do we call that? I think it was Jared Davis, much different positions, but the unguided missile or whatever it is, like he got everything. He just can't. It's like what's
He need help. Guy, he need a guidance system
it's like
to get
when
into the
said
ball.
was yeah when said was talking about Luther. It's like the curl just don't curl all the way. Like he ain't curling all the way. He is something in there to get it figured out. And I think Casey Rogers and everybody else, Shep and everybody could get that stuff figured out. So if there is a big trade from the Lions and we make a big move, I think we'll probably trade up to get a guy like him.
I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, man, if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow the crew on your favorite social media platforms, man. Thank you for hanging out on this hump day. Coach Jones does a great job over there on Wolverine Sports Talk, and check out him on all of his social media platforms. I post content from this show on all of my platforms as well. And, LL, he gets down, man, on his My High Media, man. I got to do the research and make sure I post the other Instagram, man, because it is Thursday Eve being hump day. So make sure you go check him out tomorrow on his Instagram page. All right. He gonna have a special NFL draft edition of Thirsty Thursdays tomorrow. All right. Time for final thoughts for today's show. All right. LL, you up for no? I'm gonna kick it to Coach Jones on this hump day because I gotta, what I'm saying, get the worker, the big time working man with 8 jobs on this thing right here. I know LL got a job.
Yeah, man. Actually, I can't wait till tomorrow, man. I gotta close tomorrow night. So we probably get out about 8:45, 9 o'clock ish, and that'd be a good time because the Lions probably ain't gonna pick until about
11:30.
yeah, unless they trade up. So, yeah, man, I'm excited, man. The time is done with all this mock drafts. We can all check and see what picks that we actually make that they actually pick. So if you had a guy on your mock draft or we picked a guy, let us know in the comment section. Like, yeah, y'all got him, or yeah, I had him, and show us your mock draft, man. You know what I'm saying? Send a little screenshot of your mock draft. But yeah, have a good day, man.
Yeah. All right. What you got, LL, on this
Um,
hump day?
Shout out to all of y'all. Thank y'all for watching and all of that good stuff. The big event is tomorrow night. So Coach Mike been saying it. Get y'all's popcorn ready. Brad Holmes pretty much said it. Get y'all popcorn ready. So Mr. Brad Holmes, I hope I'm not popping no popcorn to watch your ass just pick at 11:45 and pick just somebody who we already thought that you was gonna pick anyway. So you
Man,
better watch Mr.
man,
Brad Holmes. You better you promising fireworks. I better be thrilled.
hush and pop a big bowl. Anyway, thank you guys. The one thing I would say, it was interesting yesterday that I was listening to the day before, listening in the car, listening to Sirius XM NFL Network. One of the big topics was Brad Holmes' draft strategy. He was talking about not getting caught up in the moment and how a lot of teams get in trouble drafting for need and not drafting the best players available. And he was like, you can get in trouble reaching because you can end up overdrafting a guy because you're looking for a position of need and not just looking at the best players on the board. So it was on the 3 o'clock show with Jim and Pat, moving the chain. So it was a big. I think they talked about it for almost about 45 minutes. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Brad Holmes does because a lot of national pundits are kind of like looking at Brad Holmes and how he drafts because you look at how the Lions are being built right now, and the Lions have a problem because they can't pay everybody because when you start drafting so well, you can't pay everyone. And now it's time to how the Lions are kind of having to look at kicking the can down the road and all these rumors of this player getting moved, that player get moved, and the Lions are a deep young roster. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Brad Holmes does tomorrow night, man. Hey, thank you guys for starting your hump day with us right here. We will be back on Friday with our recap show for the first night of the draft, and then we will do our full recap of the total draft on Monday. So you won't have a live on Friday. You will have us doing our recap. We'll be up early. It's going to be one of those turn and burns where we finish the draft for the first round and then right back up early the next morning, giving you a recap of what we thought the Lions did on day one, and then our full recap on Monday as well, man. Hey, thank you for starting your day with us, man. If you having a good day at work, and I know sometimes it can be tough on a hump day because you're dragging because it's hump day, man, because you're just like, man, it's Wednesday, this dude getting on my nerves at this damn job. But if you're having a good day, spread that joy, man. You never know when a small kind word can make someone's day. If you're not having a good day, don't sit on that's his joy. And whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, LL Cool Torrance and Coach Mike Jones, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.